Daggerheart is the sexy new hotness from Darrington Press, a 7-layer burrito of the best parts of several different tabletop games like D&D, 13th Age, and Blades in the Dark. 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons has character advancement of levels 1 through 20. This is the standard since 2014. And it's also standard that most D&D campaigns don't make it halfway to that level cap. A lot of players say that Tier 3 and Tier 4 D&D is slow, muddled, combat is either too easy or too hard, and many high-level powers cause logic problems for storytelling. The 2 published WotC adventures for 5e that go to level 20 are regarded as 2 of the worst 5e adventures. High level is still fun, but usually not as quick and exciting as lower level play.
Gets the people going!
So when Darrington Press came out with a TTRPG that goes from levels 1 through 10, I was curious. I was curious if players would find this disappointing simply because of the lizard brain desire to see that level number embiggened. Would only 10 levels feel underwhelming? And I wondered what those high-level abilities in Daggerheart would be like. Game-breaking wish spell? Planar shifting? Resurrection? Also, I got a tangent here for a second to define game-breaking because that's like a spectrum. I mean it to be anything that causes significant slowdowns, mass table confusion, or forced retcons that leave everyone unsatisfied. I don't mean it in the literal sense that it stops you from playing like a video game crash. In this video, I want to take you through a tour of Daggerheart's top-tier abilities and discuss how each impacts the game. We're going in deep, people. I present to you the 9 most powerful, most reality-breaking spells and abilities in Daggerheart from 8th to 10th level, plus an extra ability that is surprisingly not game-breaking, although a similar spell in other systems causes tons of problems. Stay tuned, we'll get to that at the end. Before we dig in, let me show you something really cool. Today's sponsor, Dice Nest, asked if they could send me a set of gemstone dice made with blue cat's eye, and I obviously said yes, because half the reason I got into this YouTube thing was to get free stuff from companies. But when I saw these dice, I was gobsmacked. They look blue or light blue depending on how they catch the light. Just gorgeous. And the most important thing to me is that they are clearly labeled with large, easily readable numbers. Beautiful dice are useless if I can't read the numbers on them, but Dice Nest knows what they're doing. They have a wide selection of gemstone, resin, metal, and other exotic dice options. Nothing specific for Daggerheart yet, but they told me they're looking into it. Check the link in the pinned comment below to browse their dice. Now, here's what you came for. First up, the level 8 abilities. I only found 2 that came anywhere close to game-breaking simply because of their power level. Number 1 is Safe Haven. When you have a few minutes of calm to focus, you can spend 2 hope to summon your Safe Haven, a large interdimensional home where you and your allies can take shelter. When you do, a magical door appears somewhere within close range means about 30 feet. Only creatures of your choice can enter. Once inside, you can make the entrance invisible, but not the Safe Haven itself. You and anyone else inside can always exit. Once you leave, the doorway must be summoned again. When you take a rest within your own safe haven, you could choose an additional downtime move. This is no different than Tiny Hut or Magnificent Mansion, and I don't think it breaks the game, but it is powerful. Next is Astral Projection. Once per long rest, mark a stress to create a projected copy of yourself that can appear anywhere you've been before. You can see and hear through the projection as though it were you and affect the world as though you were there. A creature investigating the projection can tell it's of magical origin. The effect lasts until your next rest or your projection takes any damage. Being able to suddenly bamf back somewhere is quite powerful, but there have been similar teleport and projection spells in D&D forever. Might cause the game master to do some thinking on their feet, but it won't break the game. Next, we get into the level 9 abilities. First is Copycat. Once per long rest, this card can mimic the features of another domain card of level 8 or lower in another player's loadout. Spend hope equal to half the card's level to gain access to the feature. It lasts until your next rest or until they place the card in their vault. Now this one is iffy because it mimics what's in the other player's loadout cards. It could mimic anything. I'm not fluent enough in every single card ability to know which ones this might conflict with. The high hope cost would probably keep it from being abused too many times, but this one I have to put in the keep an eye on it category. And then, Night Terror. This is such a powerful spell. Once per long rest, choose any targets within very close range, which is about 15 feet, to perceive you as a nightmarish horror. The targets must succeed on a reaction roll or become temporarily horrified. While horrified, they're also vulnerable, which means advantage on attacks against them. Steal a number of fear from the GM equal to the number of targets that are horrified up to the number of fear in the GM's pool. Roll a number of d6s equal to the stolen fear and deal the total damage to each horrified target. Then discard the stolen fear. I don't know if this is exactly game-breaking, but the ability to rip fear away from the GM is downright hurtful. Fear is the GM's primary resource, and if you take it away, they can't do as much, making the game easier for the players. Your GM will probably grumble if you choose this card at 9th level. Next up, Plant Dominion. Make a spellcast roll. Once per long rest on a success, you reshape the natural world, changing the surrounding plant life anywhere within far range of you. For example, you can grow trees instantly, clear a path through dense vines, or create a wall of roots. The ability to create or seal off paths is pretty special, but here's the thing. Out of all these quote-unquote game breakers, this is probably the most fun of them. Like, hey, let's make this desert valley a forest instead. Boom, it's done. That's powerful narratively and mechanically, but at 9th level you expect powerful stuff. On to the level 10 abilities. Now we have what sounds like the most game-breaking power based on the title, Adjust Reality. When you hear that, you're probably picturing the Wish spell in D&D and how it has a wall of text for all the contingencies. Not so much in Daggerheart. Adjust Reality says after you or a willing ally make any roll, you can spend a very hefty 5 hope to change the numerical result of that roll to a result of your choice instead. The only problem I have with this spell is the word after has a broad meaning. After could mean 10 seconds or 10 years, and to prevent this spell from breaking the game, I would probably require the roll to be made in the same scene. You can't change a roll result from yesterday or from when you were a kid, that would be too much. Oh hey, since you're here, could you hit that like and sub button down below? I'd really appreciate it. Next is the Grimoire Book of Yarrow. Grimoire is a card with multiple spells, which is how they give bards and wizards more spells without giving them more cards. This card comes with 2 spells, and we're looking at Time Jammer. Make a spellcast roll. On a success, time temporarily slows to a halt for everyone within far range except for you, which is about 100 feet. It resumes the next time you make an action roll that targets another creature. This spell isn't any more broken than 5e's Time Stop, but it is incredibly powerful, especially if used out of combat. But it's a level 10 ability, so it should be powerful, innit? Another 10th level spell, Eclipse. Make a spellcast roll. Once per long rest on a success, plunge the entire area within far range into complete darkness only you and your allies can see through. Attack rolls have disadvantage when targeting you or an ally within this shadow. Additionally, when you or an ally succeeds with hope against an adversary within this shadow, the target must mark a stress. This spell lasts until the GM spends a fear on their turn to clear this effect or you take severe damage. Forcing adversaries to take stress is how you neutralize their abilities. Powerful, but does it break the game? Not really, no. Finally, Spectre of the Dark. Mark a stress to become spectral until you make an action roll targeting another creature. While spectral, you're immune to physical damage and can float and pass through solid objects. Other creatures can still see you while you're in this form. Walking through walls is pretty powerful, but again, it's the kind of thing you expect as a very high level ability. And for those of you who stuck around this deep in the video, thank you by the way. Now I present Resurrection. The spell that you might expect to be game-breaking is actually not. Make a spellcast roll. On a success, restore one creature who has been dead no longer than 100 years to full strength. Now here's the kicker. Then, roll a d6. On a result of 5 or lower, place this card in your vault permanently. That means you can never use it again. The fact that I only have a 1 in 6 chance of being able to cast the spell a second time makes it especially weighty. Or remember Adjust Reality from a couple minutes ago? If an ally has this in their loadout, they could throw down 5 hope to make sure you don't fail that d6 roll. And one other thing to consider, the Winged Sentinel Seraph can fly from level 1, so there's that. Okay, so looking at these top tier level 8, 9, 10 abilities, do they break the game? Some of these might cause a little debate over interpretations. Some things are vaguely worded, mostly because I think they're trying to avoid long text blocks. You couldn't fit the 5e Wish spell on a playing card. And Daggerheart encourages rulings over rules anyway. It's about telling fun stories, and quibbling over the rules is not very fun. Now that we've got that settled, I'm GM Jim, and if you enjoy Daggerheart and have high-level play experience, let's hear from you. Get in the comments. And if you're looking for high-quality dice, check my affiliate link in the pinned comment. I will see you next time.